this Usman Masvidal fight, Masvidal, he took it on short notice. He came through and, to save the main card. But like I was telling people, Usman, he's a smart fighter. He's going to do what he got to do to win. After I watched the fight, there was a few other people that were watching it, not with me, but, they were kind of casual fans. And the first things they said was, I didn't like the fight. Usman is boring. He's not a good fighter. But, to me, he did what he had to do to win. And it always comes back to that fight of the night versus fighter of the night type thing with me. Like, when you seen his performance, what was your first reaction to it?
Well, starting off, I kind of thought Masvidal just having that killer instinct and that it factor, will play a difference in the fight. But I had to go back and reassess Kamaru Usman, to be honest, Ant, because looking at him on paper, to me, I never was impressed by him. I don't see speed. I don't see striking. I know the wrestling acumen is there, but I never was impressed by him. Mm-hmm. But then when I go back and look at the facts, he dusted Tyron Woodley. He undefeated. He dusted Tyron Woodley. He broke Kobe Covington's jaw. And now he fought the fight that he needed to fight to beat a dangerous guy like Masvidal. I had to reassess him, man, and say, the man is doing something. He's winning. I mean, I can't really dispute that. So, it was good for me to see 251 because I really got to see some different things that you don't see all the time in the fight game kind of be capitalized on, Now, back to what you said about the fight being boring, it was funny. I was watching the fight, and I was actually watching these other bloggers like kind of commentate the fight. And, after that fight was over, like, I guess his timeline got flooded with Bourne, and he was just straight cussing out the people. If you're Bourne, get the F. They were drinking that, like, while they were watching the show. So by the time that fight was over, they was drunk. Yeah. And he was dissing everybody. Anybody that says this fight is boring, F you. You're blocked. Get off my what's the name. And I know he probably regret that after he sobers up or whatever, but we did see a lot of people who felt that fight was boring. My thing on it, Ant, is a lot of these fights that you anticipate so much from, a lot of times they're not really what you expect, the result anyway. But to me, it was high-level fighting that because putting Jorge Masvidal up against the fence, that takes skill, and keeping him there takes skill. Yes. This guy's not just standing against the fence letting you know. He's trying to get away. He's trying. So, overall, it was high-level strategy in the fight. And I found it entertaining from that standpoint. But you did have a huge portion of people who thought that it was boring. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like we said before the fight, it would be stupid for Masvidal, Usman to go in there and strike with a guy like Masvidal. Mm-hmm. He was smart enough to know he had to do what he needed to do. It's that like that old Cormier thing, Cormier and Stipe, part two. Well, Cormier just didn't do what he knew he needed to do. Yeah. So Usman, despite all the pressure, he's still focused enough to stick to a game plan to execute, man. So, I know they've been comparing him to GSP. That was kind of hard for me to see. But, the kid, if he keeps winning, he can't be denied, Ant. But I definitely have a higher level of respect for Usman after this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. Because, like you said, this guy is definitely a high-level fighter because even me, I got going back and looking at his fights. You do the math, he done beat 6 out of the top 10 guys. Yeah. 6 out of the top 10 guys, and he's doing it his way, and it's not – and guys that do – and when you think about it, whenever guys fight like the crowd wants you to, they're not gonna sweep the division, are they? You know what I mean? Like if Floyd Mayweather chose to fight the way the crowd wanted him to, do you think he would have beat like the top 5 guys or something like that?
Absolutely not. That's where you have to understand the business side of it, Ant. You know, it is entertainment. But and even Kamaru was going through that. He said, man, you know, and I like that too, man, that he's getting a lot of pressure to get some knockouts or do something devastating, but he's still not folding under that pressure to get, you know, caught up in that and take those chances. Now, he struck with Kobe because I guess he figured he could strike with Kobe. And he did strike with Kobe, so, you know, he knows where he can do that at. But, you know, for the most part, he's a cerebral fighter, and cerebral fighters last in the fight game, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And like the thing I noticed too, like I said, I watched it, I could really appreciate it at night because it was like almost looking at Andre Ward or something. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily fast like Roy or the same type of power like a Tyson or something like that. He's well rounded in every aspect where it gets the job done and gets his opponent completely shut down. Because if you look back at them rounds, besides round one, Usman completely shut anything Masvidal had down, you know. And Masvidal, like you said, this dude's high level.
Yeah.
And he looked almost like he didn't know what to do in there. If you look at his body language, like the way Usman was like laying on him and like tossing him, looking at Masvidal's face, he was like, man, this dude is stronger than I thought.
Well, and the thing about it is Kobe Covington said before that fight that Usman was going to ragdoll. Not just beat him, ragdoll him. And I heard that term a few other times when people were talking about this fight. And, I mean, the dude looks strong as a bull. And I ain't going to lie. Usman, he ain't nothing but one big muscle from his head to all the way down.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he definitely, you know, Masvidal, he knew once the striking realm left, the first 2-3 rounds that he kind of gassed out, then it was like a ball game after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had that couple of explosive times where he was looking for the KO, but once that didn't come, I mean, Usman got a chin. You know, on top of everything, he got a chin. He can take a punch. So, you know, Masvidal, I'm curious to see what a full training camp would do, but I don't know if it would do a whole lot,
Nah. Yeah, I don't think so either because Masvidal, he went on record saying that I'm staying active. I'm hitting the gym like at least 2-3 times a week. You know what I mean? And he was still saying like, oh, the 20 pounds he need to drop before he get there. It ain't going to be nothing. So everything he said he was leading up to it kind of sounds like a person that didn't want to make excuses, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that he didn't want to be that type of person anyway, because, you know, he was always wanting this fight. And like I said, Masvidal, he talk a lot of trash, but like when it comes to the fight code, he seems a little bit like he got respect for it. You know, like I think he has that fine line of winning the crowd over, but not being a total heel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like just the realness of him, man. I mean, like I said, you talking about a guy who was fighting in the backyard with Kimbo. It ain't too many UFC fighters that would do that.
No,
they don't. Fighting in a controlled situation where it's safe and all that. You know, the fact that he's a small guy out there fighting big guys, bare knuckle. It just definitely puts him in a different realm than a lot of those guys, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this too, man. Like, again, like I said, I give a lot of credit to Usman. Like, the inside game, man. The inside fighting was killer, man. Like, people forgetting, like, he was working that body, too. Like, it wasn't just all wrestling. Like, he was, like, constantly tagging that body.
There's a lot of things. And that's what I'm saying, that, you know, people saying it was boring, but everything he was doing was some type of skill he was exerting, you know, the clinch work. People were surprised that he was doing so well in the clinch because that's Masvidal's thing, the clinch. This is a testament to how strong this guy is, too. I mean, Masvidal really didn't have no answers for him in the clinch, you know what I mean? So I'm like, wow. You know, watching this, like, okay, this dude is something special, man.
He took it. I mean, he was taking it back, too. Like, what's your thoughts on people, like, judging him on the foot stomp, man? Like, that's a part of the game. It's just an old school trick, man.
Well, once again, in my opinion, Usman is going to be one of those guys that they never going to give him his props.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't like his personality. He's from Nigeria.
Exactly.
You know, he got a few things kind of going. You know, he's not a trash talker. He's not really, you know, feeding into the media hype like that. So I was wondering why they made big deals out of the the foot stomps like we never seen them before. It was illegal. We see them all the time.
All the time. All the time.
You know, so some stuff it kind of aggravates you, because it's like they just looking for stuff to, you know, try to get on this guy about. But the foot stomps, okay. I mean, John Jones, we seen him do. We seen plenty fighters do a foot stomp. I mean, I'd rather see a foot stomp than that knee kick, you know, to the front of the knee, where you thinking they can really do some damage. You know, a foot stomp, you probably thinking that's not doing nothing, but it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I heard them like running with that, but I didn't really get it. Like, yo, what do you know? I mean, we see that all the time. What's the big deal?
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, they're like talking about like he's trying to bite somebody or something. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to like you sneaking low blows or something. Yeah, like, and I say that's why you can tell like the generation of the MMA fans from maybe like 8 or 9 years ago. Like the more it changes, the more they become so fickle on certain things. You know, it's like we're gonna start really nitpicking now because we don't like somebody.
Right, trying to anyway.
Yeah.
You know. But I did notice that, like, come on, man, get a man his props. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, that's all I want. Yeah, just give the man his props. But moving forward from here, man, like, what you think as far as Usman? Like, if he fight Gilbert Burns next, do you think he should go ahead and clean that out, take that fight, and then move up or something?
Yeah, to be honest, and I mean, I didn't ever thought about him moving up, but when I look at his body, I mean, it looks inevitable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He will move up, but I would like to see him and Gilbert Burns go at it. Another young gunner, young lion out there, going up against Usman. But yeah, man. I mean, it looks like his future is just looking really, really, really bright right now. So I'm happy for him. You know, he's an underdog. He wasn't the guy that we seen to win, even on the show. You know, he won the. What was it? The Ultimate Fighter. Nobody thought he would win, you know, You know, so I like those stories, a guy that you're overlooking, and next thing you know, blam, he's in your face. He can't be denied anymore. And Kamaru put himself in that position.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Usman, like I said, man. But you know, I was glad respecting Masvidal for showing respect, you know. Just showing it was a game, but at the end of the fight, he shook his hand and he was like, no excuses, you know. He straight up gave him his props on the performance he put on. Because he could have said, "Oh man, Usman didn't want to bang," or Usman did he, you know what I mean? Like he could have made some type of excuse.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing I kind of like about Masvidal. I mean, like I say, just coming from the area, the area of fighting that he came from, you know, you respect that. Usman got it. I mean, Masvidal got his ass whipped that night, and that's what you do in the fight game. Yo, you was the bigger man. You know what I'm saying? Even in the streets sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah. When you get that respect when you give out that ass whipping, you know what I mean?
Exactly. The tension goes away.
You know?
Yeah. But yeah, man. Like I said, definitely just had to talk about that, man. That main event. What you think of the overall before we move on? What you think of the Fight Island idea so far? It's on point, right?
I mean,
so far,
the idea of it is all right, but as far as from a fan standpoint, the visualization of it, it's just like watching a fight in Vegas. I thought it was gonna be daytime. You see some sand, some palm trees. It's totally dark. We don't even know we on the island. Yeah. So from the fan standpoint, you know, it was just a regular fight to me. But the whole idea of it, I think, is pretty dope. You know what I mean? From the fan standpoint, I didn't notice a thing. It was like a regular arena. Right. Yeah. And that's definitely. And then there was like the one Instagram post where they had the octagon on the island or whatever, but it was like we ain't even gonna notice that, you know. You didn't get that vibe at all, which I thought would have brought some aesthetic to it. And you look and see a guy out there on a sunny day, palm trees blowing. I mean, that would have been dope just for a new scenery, you know what I mean? But maybe it's something they'll do later on or something out in Fight Island. But I mean, I thought it was a dope idea, but visually watching it, I was expecting to just see some different things, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. Maybe they'll work some of that stuff out lately. Yeah, because they got some more cards coming up, man.